Assalamu alaikum to all of my students. Hope you all are fine. Today I am going to discuss expenditure method of measuring national income. Expenditure method. Expenditure method of measuring national income means GDP. As I have already discussed output method or value added method. Second one, income method. Now today, last one method in this topic, that's expenditure method. What we call expenditure method? Generally, expenditure upon final goods and services. Yes. Produced in an economy during an accounting year. During an accounting, this we call expenditure method. Means expenditure upon final goods and services produced in an economy during an accounting year. That we call expenditure method. Means when we have to estimate expenditure of final goods and service, that is equal to means right expenditure upon final goods and services, final goods and services during the year is generally equal to GDP, which is equal to that is goods is equal to GDP or equal to GDP at market price. That we call GDP at market price. The estimation, I will write here, estimation of expenditure on final goods and services is equal to gross domestic product, that we call gross domestic product and market value. They are equal. Generally, we call this expenditure method, means expenditure made upon different goods and services, final goods and services within the domestic territory of a country during an accounting year. Generally, when we read first one, value added method. When we read value added method, value added method or output added method, we read income method. Yes, third one is expenditure method. Third one is expenditure method. As when we were reading expenditure value added method, I tell you at that time it is a value of final value of goods and services produced in total market value of final goods and services produced in a country during an account year. For example, I tell you price of A multiplied by quantity of A plus price of B multiplied by quantity of B dash up to N. P of N, Q of N. When we calculate this sum of this market value of final goods and services, we will get value added method, value of output. Similarly, when we read income method, at that time I tell you there are generally factors of production, land, labor, and capital. From land we generate rent. From capital, interest. From from land we generate rent. From capital, interest. From labor, wages. Entrepreneur receives profit. At that time I tell you this is factors of income from the factors of production. Factors of production. Then income we receive income from the rent from the land, interest from the capital, wage from the labor, profit is received by the entrepreneur. I mean, it is earned by the entrepreneur by taking different types, by taking risk in order to gain profit. When we add up these rent, interest, wage, and profit, we will get income, estimation of income through national income method. Now, this rent, this interest, this wages, this profit, this is spent upon good A, good B, good C, up to N. And this income which we receive from wage, yes, from labor, from capital, from yes, from entrepreneur, we receive as profit. This all income when we receive, we expend it upon different goods and service. Means price of A into quantity of these goods A, B, C, D, goods available at the marketplace. Means we are as a consumers, I will write private expense, private consumption expense, PVT, private consumption expenditure, EXP, private expenditure, plus, as I write here, yes, as a producer, he produces different goods and services. As we made expenditure upon private, we become as a private, as we yes, we made expenditure upon different goods and to purchase different goods and services. Similarly, producer, he invests, as he invested upon different goods and services, upon different goods and services. Similarly, government is also doing its government takes yes, government also takes its role as government also invests in yes, makes expenditure on different goods and services. For example, defense purpose, for yes, defense purpose, consumption expenditure, yes, expenditure of government, as government also doing expenditure, government expenditure for defense personnel. They bought different goods and services for the defense personnel. In this private consumption expenditure, if I will write in equation form, it will become C plus I plus G. C plus I plus G. But when we calculate this market value of goods and services here in value added method, this is within the domestic territory. We never take into account outside the boundary. As these goods, when we utilize these factors like land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur, we produce different goods and services. But it is not necessarily the goods and services which we produce, the material that we utilize in order to produce these goods and services like PA, PV, these goods and services will be available in domestic territory of a country. But some goods we bought from the outside the country, that we call imports. I will write here imports. Means yes, P of N minus yes multiplied by Q of N. Here will minus M. Why? I will repeat once again this. As the goods and services which we produce by using these land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur to produce goods and services, the goods and services produced, all material that is required to produce these goods and services, it is not possible will be available in domestic territory of a country. Some goods we bought from the foreign countries, that we call import. To produce these goods, some factors we bought, yes, some equipment we brought from the outside country, that we call imports. When import is deducted from this, so to remain within the boundaries. Similarly, in this case, last one, expenditure method. As when we produce goods and services, that is exports to other countries. As just like in our J&K, like food business. fruit business. As we export fruits to outside countries. When it's foreign, yes, foreigners invest in J&K. When in this method, here will be exports as we export goods and services. After that, plus exports minus जो हमने यहाँ पे किया imports minus imports M. So I will real G here will be G plus exports minus imports. Sometimes student gets confused where from this exports comes. As foreigners invest in J&K, like in fruit business, they buy different goods and services from our country. That is export. As we export from goods and services, when we purchase some goods and services from foreign countries, that we call import. When import is deducted from the domestic territory of a country, similarly exports added to the domestic territory of a country. Minus this imports, as imports subtract here. When we add up these, then this export minus import, it will become net exports. Alright, it will become this equation will become this equation. Export minus import, it will be net exports. Net exports. It will become as exports minus imports. This there will remain. It will become net exports. When we now sum up this private consumption investment, yes, private consumption expenditure, yes, investment expenditure done by the producer, government expenditure plus net exports, we will get estimation of this income by way of income method. I will write below. When we yes, estimation of national income by way of expenditure method, we have to do private consumption. I will write short from consumption plus expenditure plus yes investment plus government plus net exports. Net exports. And sum of these we will get expenditure. So estimation of expenditure by way of expenditure method. This is first method. This is second method. This is third. You have to remember it 2-3 times. When you understand this, rent we generate from labor, yes, land and interest, yes, from capital, wages from labor, profit from entrepreneur, and you understand these factors, what we earn from these factors. These are utilized in order to produce goods and services. Price of A multiplied by quantity of A, that become value of good, one good. Second good, so continuously, as we write in value added method, it's the market value of final goods and services. When you sum up, definitely we will get market. As we deduct imports, up to here, or understanding for up to here is domestic territory. Why? As we deduct imports. When we add up imports, then it will be at national level. We are subtracting imports, here we are subtracting imports in order to remain within the country, within the domestic territory of a country. I think it is enough for today. If you have any doubt related to this concept, you can message or comment me. I will try my level best to elaborate it further. I think it's enough for today. Hope for the best. Take care. Thanks. Have a nice day.